Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to Card Making Project 601 using our gorgeous Anna Griffin supplies. It's nice to be back. I've had a little break, had a bit of a technology issue, so last minute we had to just have a little break. But now we're going to have a new format of our Anna Griffin tutorials are going to be on a Friday once a week. We're still going to have tutorials for the Art Deco range and Fab Scraps when new collections are available, so always watch out on Facebook because they're not always week by week for other collections, but we'll always have the Anna Griffin once a week on a Friday tutorial unless I'm on holiday. But watch Facebook for announcements because that'll keep you up to date, and watch my blog as well because I'll always let you know, or try to. So today's tutorial is a gorgeous card to come back with, and we're using our Anna Griffin supplies to the max, I think. Now I'm going to run through the items that we're going to use. They will be listed on my blog with the extra photos and details for the project, so please check it out because there's so many other things on there to look at as well. The first thing that we're going to use the Vintage Frames Sentiment Stamps dies. Now this is for the insert and we're just using the stamp Good Luck. So you would be able to substitute this if you didn't have these stamps. These were available maybe about 18 months ago to a year at both sides from across the pond. And they are great stamps and dies and they're just so very versatile. So you could substitute the Good Luck stamp for the insert. We're also going to use the Ruffle Cut and Emboss dies. We're going to use the large centre border, I'm trying to say centre die, the border, the Ornate layer and the shadow layer. We're also going to use the smaller Ornate layer and the shadow layer that matches. Then we're also going to use the fancy layer and the shadow layer of our easel card dies. We're not using the large easel base, just the Ornate layer and the shadow layer. You'll understand what I mean as we go on, but we're just using it in a different way to get more out of it and not just use it for our easel cards. Our base card is a 7x5" ivory card. I've already on the back of it used my Handmade by stamp from the Anna Griffin handmade stamp collection. I've added my name and the project number. That way, if you give this to somebody, the recipient will know who's made it for them. You don't have to add the number, that's just to save me forgetting with old age. So just add your name and then the recipient will know who's made it. I'm going to take a bone folder, and this is a bone folder from the Anna Griffin tool collection, and I'm going to simply run it along the edge, the folded edge of the card, to make sure it's a nice sharp crease, because that way it'll stand up nice and proud on the mantelpiece, because we all want our cards on the mantelpiece. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to decorate the inside first. Now the inside is going to match perfectly to the outside, and it's only a couple of very simple steps. The first thing I've done is I've cut a layer 4.8 inches by 6.8 inches in ivory cardstock, and then I've used two distress inks, and they are called Stormy Sky from set 9 and Broken China from set 6, and I've just inked and blended into the centre, leaving the centre so that you can write on it. I've got double-sided tape on the back, and you can see I've not been wasteful. When we've used the front of cards as layers, I've got the back that I can use as the ivory layer. So that's something that I've cut down from a previous project. So I can now insert the layer into the card. That was flat tape, flat double-sided tape I had on the back. Press it down, nice and flat. Now it looks great as it is, but we're just going to make it look even better. Now for the front of the card, I'm using the Paisley papers. And what I've done is I've cut out 3 strips So the first one is 1.5 inches wide. Just checking the measurement on it. 1.5 inches wide. Doesn't matter about the length. And I've got flat tape on it. And I'm simply going to add it in the centre of our card. Just running down from the centre. Like so. There we go. The next layer is a piece of ivory plain cardstock. And this I cut at 1.25 inches so that we'll have a little bit of overhang of the actual paisley pattern behind it. And then the third strip is 1 inch. So again, we're going to have a little bit of overhang between the layers, like so. There we go. Then I've taken the shadow layer from the ruffle dies, the smaller size, and I've just die cut a piece of the paisley paper, the card, I'm saying paper, I know it's cardstock. I've got flat tape on the back of it, and I'm simply going to add this just at the bottom of our little paper strips we've added. Now this is a great insert that you could use with your scraps and marry everything up. So we're going to just add that towards the bottom. That's why I said the length didn't matter. So we can go towards the bottom because we're covering those edges up. If I go to about there, there we go. And then the stamp where I've used the vintage frame and stamp and die set. And I've just used the words good luck. I've used the smaller inner section from the ruffle dies, stamped in navy blue. It was a stays on ink. And then again, I've just used the broken china to go around the edge. And when I say broken china, that's the distress ink. To go around the edge to blend the colour in. And I'm just going to add our sentiment to the middle of our previous layer. So that is our insert complete. Something very simple, nice amount of layers, they're all flat, but it's going to work with the front perfectly and tone in. So now we can turn our attention to the front of the card, and I'm just going to use my bone folder again just to keep that edge nice and sharp. And the first layer for the front of the card is from the paisley paper collection. I've got flat tape on the back of it, and I've used it in its entire form. I haven't tried to be frugal with it. And it covers the whole of the card. So I'm just turning it so I can see where I'm putting it. There we go. So I can press that down. Our next layer is the Ornate layer from the easel card die. There I am. And we're using the gold foil cardstock from Anna Griffin. I've got 3D foam on the back of this, and I'm simply going to add this over the front of the card. So this is using your easel card dies in a very versatile way. Next, I've cut the Ornate layer, and again I've used the paisley paper collection. I've got flat tape on the back of this, so I can peel away the back of the tape, and we can add our Ornate layer over our shadow layer. So we can press that down like so. There we go, and it's looking pretty already with just the contrast of the papers and the Ornate layer. Next, I've used the shadow layer of the border die from the ruffle collection. I've got flat tape on the back of it, and again I've used the contrasting paisley cardstock, the same one that we used on the base of the card. And I'm going to pop that through the centre of our card and through the centre over our Ornate layers of the easel card, just like that. I've then got the Ornate layer from the border die, from the ruffle cut and embossed die set. I've die cut this in the gold foil again, and I've got 3D foam on the back. And I'm just going to position that over the shadow layer that we've just added, like that. Next, I've got the smaller oval from the ruffle die set. This is the shadow layer. I've got 3D foam on each side of it on the back and flat tape in the middle because it's going to hang over either side of the centre border. There we go. Next, I've taken the Ornate layer and I've used gold foil, the gold foil cardstock. I've got this on 3D foam and I'm going to position that over the previous layer. There we go. So you can see how we're building those layers up. Look how beautiful that looks. The gold coming through the Ornate layer matches with all the gold through the border. Oh, it's going to be gorgeous. Next, I've got mini sentiment from the mini sentiment and flower sticker set. And all I've done is peel the back of it away, and I'm going to add this through the centre of our card, like so. Press it down nice and firmly. And then I've got 2 of the mini flower clusters from the mini flower favourite flower stickers. Now, instead of using them as stickers, I'm using them with 3D foam on the back. So I can simply arrange them at either side of my sentiment, like that. And pop that on about there. And then I'm going to finish off with a bow underneath the sentiment just above the flowers. And press it all down. And that is our card finished. Such a pretty card. You can see all those gorgeous layers and it just contrasts so well. The inside matches perfectly to the outside. Something very different that you could use with your scraps. You could use that style for any of your cards. You could make this a little bit shorter, you could make it a lot longer, you could take it all the way. I've done it this way so there's room for you to write a nice message underneath, but it matches so well to the outside. Stands up perfectly. Now for postage, I would say it will go in a normal envelope. You might want a little bit of padding over it just to protect it, but it's such a beautiful card, it really is. And I do love the blue and the gold and the contrast. It just absolutely sings out. And obviously you could change the sentiment to go with the occasion that you're making the card for. You don't have to use it for a wedding. Birthdays, anniversaries, anything like that, it would be gorgeous. Please check my blog for lots and lots of other projects. Please share with your crafty friends. Please give me the thumbs up. I always forget to say anything like that. I do appreciate it for the people that share and they comment, and it is so nice to hear from you. And I'm just so pleased that you enjoy what I do. So I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching. I shall see you next time.